Hi, good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. We will wait for some minutes for the people who are registered to this webinar to join us. Okay, we are going to start. We are going to start this webinar. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We are very excited to have you here this afternoon, this morning. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please try to tap them into the question box that you see at the bottom of your screen. And also, we are going to have a Q&A panel after the presentation. I'm going to send you a follow-up email so you can request the recording or the presentation that you are seeing on your screen. For those who don't know me, my name is Melania Lopez. I am the commercial director at Mon Group. I'm so glad to be here to speak about a crucial topic in the mining industry, the supplier registration procedure. We all know the impact that suppliers have in the Peruvian mining sector for small local businesses and large corporations. Everybody plays a vital role in the development and sustainability of this industry. Today, we are going to explore how the supplier registration process is carried out and why it's so relevant. But first, who we are. Mon Group is an international consulting and legal firm with our own offices in all Latin American countries, including Canada and the US, except for Venezuela and Central America. We offer a wide range of services focused on different industries. Mon Group has more than 40 years in the market with the only purpose to find the best solutions for you to expand your business. In other words, we take you by the hand and then you can forget about all the paperwork that you have to fill out and in the markets. So you can focus on the core business that is the commercialization of your product or services. Mon Group offers legal services. We have lawyers specialized in the main areas of the economy: natural resources, natural and international trade and investment, mining, environment, water rights, tax, migration, and other ones. Then we also offer the hosting service, or internationally called corporate services, that includes legal representation, registered address, accounting services, and other on-demand services such as trademarks, back office, payroll, along and other ones. Well, mining is a productive activity to great importance for Peru, and it has been one of the engines of the country's growth. This is the activity that contributes the most to the GDP, and it represents around the 9% of the GDP in Peru. And in this case of mineral exports, it represents almost the 64%. It is mainly due to the long mining tradition that dates back to the Incan times, but also due to the commercial openness that Peru has, the equal treatment given to the investors, both national and foreign, and the diversity and potential of resources. So much so, Peru has the largest silver reserves in the world and is the second largest producer of zinc and copper. At the Latin American level, it is the first country with reserves of silver, molybdenum, zinc, and gold. From the importance of mining in Peru, let's now take a look of the collaboration of all the suppliers in the development of this industry. Suppliers are those companies that provide essential services and products to the mining industry, from the beginning with exploration activities, and later with the extraction and processing of minerals until their commercialization. Something that I thought was important to share with you today is that in the study of the mining suppliers carried out in 2021 by the company SAMI, it mentioned that purchases by mining companies from suppliers is around $10 billion annually. This is important information for the topic that we are talking about. So, what is are these products with the greatest demand? There are electrical machinery and equipment, textile products, personal protective equipment, mechanical devices, and various other products from chemical industries. Now, within the companies that they offer equipment, most of them specialize mainly in manufacturing, that is the 23%, and distribution, that is the 16%, while the 13% do not offer equipment and concentrate only on providing services. Companies specialized in equipment are mainly companies with more than 20 years in the market and concentrating in medium and large companies. The companies that offer services the companies that offer services are mostly 13%. Maintenance, as you can see on your screens, that 13%, and 10% are companies that they offer engineering services, and another 10% services in the mine. Most have been on the market for more than 20 years. Maintenance technology services, various services and consulting companies are primarily micro and small businesses, as you can see there. Now, what happens if I have a product or a supplier have a product and want to offer their services or the product to a mining company? So the question is how to become its supplier? For me, there are 3 factors that I think are important, and the order in each they should be prioritized. Quality of the product for the service is the number 1. This is something that you should consider as a supplier as the starting point, because mining companies demand and look for to obtain goods that comply with some international standards of regulation. And it is for this reason that suppliers must start by demonstrating rigorous compliance with their own standards. Not only quality, in addition, the suppliers should consider to obtain a certification. For the second step, I think, is financial model. A solid financial model is the backbone of success. The supplier must take into account that payments are on credit. So they must organize their company in such a way as the wisdom of the delay in the flow of the income. Cash flow is very important in this part. This forces us to balance expenses and even increase the cost of the product offered. The third key that I want to share with you is the product sustainability. Buyers often learn through suppliers who have a lot of experience. It is therefore important for other products with technology innovation that have obtained some certification. Now, let's move on the core part of our presentation, the supplier registration process. Mining companies usually have a list of suppliers with whom they are consult prices. When they have the need of a product or services, they ask the quality, the purchasing conditions, the after-sales services, and other ones. Registration is an integral tool that helps manage the supply chain, mitigate risk, comply with regulatory requirements, and promote operational efficiency and transparency in business relationships. Some important to take into account is that in Peru, the government does not have a register of mining suppliers. However, there is a directory of Peruvian companies that request suppliers. So each mining company has its own registration policy. And are going to talk about the common points that this platform has. However, you must verify the information directly with the mining company. The first step is to enter to the website of these companies and look for the supplier section. Usually these companies that you can see in the presentation, they have a section in their website that is meant to be for the supplier section. Then, as a second step, you will first need to create a user with a password. Then they will send you an email, the platform, the mining company will send you an email with instructions. In the instructions, there is a form that you must be completed with detailed information about the supplier company. Information that, for example, identification of the company, general data, financial information, certification, information of the manager, legal representatives, and other ones. Most mining companies have this form in a SAP platform because it's used to manage procurement process and relationship with their suppliers. For step 4, along with information that the supplier has been entered to the form, they will also will ask for the support material, such as letter from the bank, a copy of the financial statements, constitution of the company, reference letters from some clients. It depends on the information entering in the form. The 5th step is the approval process. This process is the evaluation that companies request from all the suppliers. In this process, they evaluate financial and legal compliance, operational capacity, and management systems according to the demand of the product. This is for the health and safety at work matters, like environmental, social responsibility, information security. In summary, purchasing companies want suppliers to demonstrate that the supplier company has the operational, administrative, and financial capacity to safely and consistently provide a service. Every company, regardless of the size, must go through all this approval process. So, how is this approval carried out? How is this approval process carried out? It is done through an audit, okay? The evaluator will verify the form that was previously sent to him, which must fill out point by point through the documents evidence as appropriate. Once the approval process is completed, the certifying company will send a technical report. It is approval certificate and the logo of the approved company, and the results will send to the mining company. And finally, if all the steps has been completed, the registration process and the applying supply remains in the company's database. So the mining company can access this database when it requires a product or services. So I'm going to share some case studies. For example, I have here Compañía de Minas Buenaventura. This is a practical example. As you can see, Compañía de Minas Buenaventura has 4 steps in order to register a new supplier. The first step is as indicated in a few minutes ago, last minutes. The first step is request or create a username and a password. Usually this registration is done by the legal representative of the company. Then the second step is create. Then after you create the user ID, the system, the platform that Minas Buenaventura uses is the SAP platform. So they will send you a link to complete the information of your company as a supplier. There is a lot of information to be completed. It is a detailed information required of the product, the services that you offer. And also, as you can see, you can also attach some catalogs of your products or your services and also certification. In the case of this company, they do the approval process by themselves. So how they do that? They request all the documentation that you enter in the form. They request all the supporting documents that is backing all the information you enter in the form. If you enter in the form that you have a certification, in this process, in the approval process, they will request that the certification and they will review if it's good enough for them to approve your registration. Like this, right? This is the approval portal, and you will see how it looks. They are requesting, in this example, they are requesting some documents, and then you have to attach in the platform. Another example that I brought today is Antamina. Antamina doesn't ask to complete the form. They ask to obtain a certification from an SGS, which is an audit company from Peru. When SGS issue the certification, they will send, or you will be able to send the certification to the mining company, and then they will review your application, and then they will keep you in their database. So as you can see, it is a very different process as the Mina Buenaventura. Yeah, you have to go to the audit company, and the audit company issue the certificate for you. So what is the benefit that suppliers achieve with this registration? The main benefit is to be visible to the mining company. When the mining company have the supplier registered in their system, they can send a tender option, and also they can contact the supplier directly because they have already their information. To achieve these two ways, a direct purchase through a bidding process. If it's through a bidding process, the suppliers will receive an email from the mining company so they can participate in the tender. Then the supplier must access their account and verify if they meet the required conditions. The supplier might be asked to answer some questions and attach some required documents that are only for that tender, right? Not all the companies can participate in this bidding process. Only companies that they can participate must confirm that they are suppliers and they're already registered in their database. So what are the keys to be selected as a supplier? Currently, mining companies are focused on achieving sustainable mining, where responsible sources stands as the cornerstone of a sustainable business. Suppliers are expected to meet high quality, safety, or environmental standards. In this sense, they are looking for companies that satisfy the following requirements. For example, technological innovation, optimization of process. So that is a profitable, but at the same time is ecological. Compliance with labor standards. Suppliers are expected to respect all labor rights, guaranteeing the recognition and payment of benefits, as well as the provision of insurance, among others. Compliance program. This is that the company has implemented compliance policies such as a code of conduct, anti-bribery policies, complaints challenge, and some certifications and other ones. Social responsibility. It is essential that the companies implement this practice during the respect for human rights and support the local communities. And respect the environment. For example, the company looks for suppliers that are responsible for the waste management. Site rehabilitation and regulatory compliance are essential. Monitoring and preventing pollution ensures that operations minimize their environmental impact. And last, but not least, because it's important as well, is risk management. Mining companies seek to collaborate with suppliers that have a management system capable of identifying risks. This involves considering different types of risk, assessing their impact, maintaining up-to-date work policies and procedures to manage the risk. In the group of the mining suppliers are the contracting companies, which are those that with functional autonomy and their own assets carry out exploration, development, exploitation, and benefit activities. These companies must be registered with the Ministry of Energy and Mines of Peru to be able to carry business in this country. So, which companies are not required to register before the ministry? The companies that are not required have the activity related to mining. And for example, are medical services, security service, hotel service. There is a list of companies that do not require registration. If you wish, after this webinar, we can share the PowerPoint with you so you can review these points in detail. Finally, I want to explain this process to you, which is very simple. First, an application has to be submitted to the Ministry of Energy and Mines in Peru, demonstrating that there is a subscribe and pay share capital for an amount of no less than 130,000 US dollars. Then an electronic registration of public records. And then this approval of application is going to last around 30 days, 30 business days. And with approval of the supplier company, then enters the database and may be a supplier for the mining company. An important fact is that this registration does not have any expiration date, unless obviously if the regulations change. So thank you so much for your time today. These are our offices. As I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we have 12 offices. And the office that will help you with all the information will be the office in Canada. So here you have my contact information, and you can send me an email with any questions that you may have. As indicated, you will receive a follow-up email. And if you have any question, we can schedule a session for you to know more about this process. Thank you.